News 1. Joe Pickler, the vanishing of a promising child star. Joe Pickler was a rising star in Hollywood during the late 1990s and early 2000s, best known for roles in family-friendly films like Beethoven's Third, Beethoven's Fourth, and Varsity Blues. Born in Bremerton, Washington in 1987, Joe moved to Los Angeles at a young age to pursue acting. His wholesome screen presence and natural talent earned him a modest but promising career as a child and teen actor. After a series of roles, Joe returned to his hometown in 2003 to finish high school, with the intention of resuming his acting career afterward. Tragically, that never happened. On January 5, 2006, at the age of 18, Joe was reported missing. His car was found abandoned with his wallet and some personal belongings inside, and a note was discovered suggesting he had been struggling emotionally. Though the note indicated he might have been contemplating suicide, no body was ever found. Nearly 2 decades later, Joe Pickler's disappearance remains one of Hollywood's most haunting mysteries. Despite various leads, police never confirmed foul play or located him. His family has continued to search for answers, holding out hope for closure. Joe's story is a sobering reminder of the pressures that often follow child actors after fame fades. While many remember him for his joyful on-screen presence, the unanswered questions surrounding his disappearance have cemented his legacy as one of the most tragic and unresolved stories in child star history. News 2. Laura Lee Michelle, a forgotten starlet, and a mysterious downfall. Laura Lee Michelle was once heralded as the next Shirley Temple, a bright, talented child actress who charmed audiences in the late 1940s and early 1950s. Born in 1940 in Texas, Michelle quickly rose to fame in Hollywood, appearing in more than a dozen films before she was even a teenager. Among her most notable roles were appearances in The Boy with Green Hair, 1948, and Tokyo Joe, 1949, where she starred opposite Humphrey Bogart. Despite her promising start, Michelle's time in the spotlight was brief. By the early 1950s, she had largely disappeared from the screen. The reason behind her sudden withdrawal from Hollywood is layered with personal turmoil. In a highly publicized custody battle, Michelle accused her adoptive parents of abuse and exploitation, a tragic yet all too common story among child stars of that era. The case drew national attention and may have contributed to the premature end of her career. As she entered adulthood, Michelle vanished from the public eye entirely. For decades, little was known about her fate. Some believed she had died in the 1970s, possibly under an alias. It wasn't until much later that official documents suggested she had passed away from cancer in 1979, though this remains difficult to confirm. Laura Lee Michaels' story reflects the darker side of child stardom: fleeting fame, legal battles, and a life that never lived up to its Hollywood promise. Today, she remains a symbol of lost potential and the price of early fame. News 3. Danny Lloyd, from shining star to quiet academic. Danny Lloyd became a household name at just 6 years old when he portrayed Danny Torrance in Stanley Kubrick's horror masterpiece, The Shining, 1980. With his haunting performance and iconic red room scene, Lloyd captivated audiences and earned praise for a role that has since become one of the most memorable in horror film history. Remarkably, Kubrick shielded Lloyd from the film's intense themes, so the young actor had no idea he was starring in a horror movie during filming. Despite his success, Lloyd's acting career was short-lived. He appeared in only one other production, a TV film called Will G. Gordon Liddy, in 1982, before stepping away from Hollywood entirely. Citing a lack of interest in continuing with acting and a desire for a normal childhood, Lloyd returned to school and quietly left the entertainment industry behind. In the years that followed, Lloyd built a life far from the spotlight. He earned a degree in biology and became a college professor, teaching science at a community college in Kentucky. He has rarely spoken publicly about his time in Hollywood. though he did briefly return for a cameo appearance in Dr. Sleep, 2019, the sequel to The Shining. Danny Lloyd's story stands out among former child stars. Rather than fading due to scandal or tragedy, he simply chose a different path. Today, he is remembered not only for his chilling performance in The Shining, but also for his successful, grounded life beyond the screen. News 4. Hal Scardino. From magical adventures to a life behind the scenes. Hal Scardino captured the imagination of a generation with his lead role in the 1995 family fantasy film, The Indian in the Cupboard. As Omri, a young boy who discovers a magical cupboard that brings toys to life, Scardino delivered a heartfelt and convincing performance that made him one of the most promising young actors of the mid-1990s. He also appeared in Marvin's Room, 1996, sharing the screen with acting heavyweights like Meryl Streep and Leonardo DiCaprio. Despite a strong start in Hollywood, Scardino's acting career was short-lived. By the late 1990s, he had largely stepped away from the screen, opting instead to focus on his education. He attended the prestigious Trinity School in New York City and later graduated from Columbia University. His decision to leave acting wasn't born of scandal or disillusionment, but rather a desire to explore other passions. In adulthood, Scardino has worked primarily behind the scenes in film and media production. He became involved in political and environmental activism and has worked as a producer on several projects, including documentaries. Though he has made occasional low-key appearances on screen, he has chosen to keep his public profile minimal. Hal Scardino's story is one of quiet reinvention. Rather than chasing prolonged fame, he leveraged his early success into a thoughtful, purposeful life outside of the Hollywood spotlight. Today, he is a respected figure in media circles, remembered fondly for his iconic childhood role, and admired for his meaningful career shift. News 5. Lisa Jakub. From child star to mental health advocate. Lisa Jakub was a familiar face in the 1990s, best known for playing Robin Williams's teenage daughter Lydia in the beloved comedy Mrs. Doubtfire, 1993. With a mature screen presence and emotional depth beyond her years, Jakub quickly became a standout among young actors. She also appeared in Independence Day, 1996, portraying Randy Quaid's daughter in the blockbuster hit, further cementing her status as a rising star. However, despite her success, Jakub made the rare decision to walk away from Hollywood in her early 20s. Burned out and longing for a more grounded life, she left the entertainment industry to focus on her personal growth and education. Jakub later revealed that her time in Hollywood had left her struggling with anxiety, depression, and a lack of identity outside of acting. Since stepping away from the spotlight, Jakub has reinvented herself as a writer, speaker, and mental health advocate. She is the author of You Look Like That Girl, a candid memoir detailing her journey from child stardom to self-discovery. Another book, Not Just Me, addresses mental health challenges and destigmatizes conditions like anxiety and panic disorders. In recent years, Jakub has also become a certified yoga teacher and founded a nonprofit, Blue Mala, focused on mental wellness. Her work is widely respected for its sincerity and advocacy. Lisa Jakub's journey is a powerful example of transformation choosing authenticity and healing over fame, and using her platform to support others navigating similar paths. News 6. Josh Saviano. From child actor to legal mind. Josh Saviano became a familiar face to millions as Paul Pfeiffer, the nerdy yet lovable best friend of Kevin Arnold on the classic coming-of-age series The Wonder Years, 1988-1993. His performance struck a chord with audiences, and Paul became one of the most relatable characters on the show, embodying the awkwardness and loyalty of true friendship during adolescence. Despite his popularity on the show, Saviano made a deliberate choice to step away from acting after the Wonder Years ended. Rumors swirled for years that he had grown up to become shock rocker Marilyn Manson, a false and bizarre urban legend that he later laughed off in interviews. In reality, Saviano pursued a much more conventional path. He attended Yale University, earning a degree in political science, and later went on to earn his law degree from the Benjamin N. Cardozo School of Law. He became a practicing attorney in New York, specializing in intellectual property and entertainment law. Though largely out of the spotlight, Saviano returned to TV briefly in a guest role on Law and Order, SVU, playing fittingly a lawyer. He later founded a branding and consultancy firm called Act 3 Advisors, which helps artists and influencers navigate life after fame. Josh Saviano's life after child stardom is a refreshing example of a smooth transition into a successful second act. Grounded and accomplished, he turned early fame into a stepping stone for a fulfilling career in law and business far from Hollywood, but no less impactful. News 7. Jonathan Lipnicki. From adorable child star to martial artist and mentor. Jonathan Lipnicki made an unforgettable debut in Jerry Maguire, 1996, playing Ray Boyd, the adorably precocious son of Renee Zellweger's character. With his signature glasses, spiky hair, and charming one-liners, "Did you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?" Lipnicki instantly became one of the most recognizable child actors of the late 1990s. He followed up his breakout role with a string of family-friendly hits, including Stuart Little, The Little Vampire, and Like Mike. Despite his early fame, Lipnicki gradually faded from the Hollywood spotlight as he entered his teenage years. He later spoke candidly about the challenges of growing up in the public eye, including bullying and the struggle to transition into adult roles. Unlike many child stars who spiral, Lipnicki took a different route, focusing on personal growth and exploring new passions. In adulthood, Lipnicki reinvented himself as a Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner and mixed martial artist. He also returned to acting, taking on independent film roles and appearing in television projects, though largely outside the mainstream. Off-screen, he's become an advocate for mental health awareness and anti-bullying initiatives, frequently speaking about his own experiences. He also mentors aspiring actors and kids facing adversity, using his past to help others build their future. Jonathan Lipnicki's journey is a story of resilience and reinvention. From child star to martial artist and mentor, he has successfully carved out a meaningful path, one that values authenticity, discipline, and giving back. News 8. Ross Bagley. From sitcom stardom to a life beyond the camera. Ross Bagley rose to fame in the 1990s as one of the most recognizable child actors on television. He's best known for his role as Nicky Banks, the adorable, wisecracking youngest cousin on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Joining the hit show in its later seasons, Bagley quickly became a fan favorite for his charm and comedic timing alongside Will Smith. His film debut came shortly after in The Little Rascals, 1994, where he played Buckwheat, further cementing his place in 90s pop culture. Bagley reunited with Will Smith in 1996 for the sci-fi blockbuster Independence Day, playing Dylan, the son of Vivica A. Fox's character. At that point, Bagley seemed poised for a long Hollywood career, but like many child actors, he eventually stepped away from acting to focus on his education and personal development. As an adult, Bagley earned a degree in cinema and television arts from California State University, Northridge. He later ventured into the business world, including a career in real estate. Though largely absent from acting in recent years, he has made occasional appearances at fan events and Fresh Prince reunions, reflecting fondly on his time in the industry. Ross Bagley's story is one of early fame followed by a grounded transition into a life beyond Hollywood. By choosing a quieter, more private path, he avoided the pitfalls of child stardom and built a stable life rooted in education and entrepreneurship. News 9. Taylor Momsen. From child star to rock front woman. Taylor Momsen began her career in the spotlight at a young age, quickly becoming a familiar face in early 2000s film and television. She gained widespread recognition for her role as Cindy Lou Who in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, $2,000, starring alongside Jim Carrey. With her wide eyes and angelic voice, Momsen charmed audiences and seemed destined for long-term Hollywood success. As she grew older, Momsen transitioned into television, landing the role of Jenny Humphrey on the hit teen drama Gossip Girl, 2007-2012. Her character's transformation from sweet fashion-obsessed teen to rebellious outcast mirrored Momsen's real-life shift in interests. By 2011, she announced her departure from acting to pursue her true passion, music. Momsen reinvented herself as the lead singer and songwriter of the hard rock band The Pretty Reckless. With a gritty powerhouse voice and a provocative rock image, she stunned those who remembered her child star beginnings. The band's debut album, Light Me Up, 2010, was a commercial success, followed by several more chart-topping records, including Going to Hell and Death by Rock and Roll. Momsen has been praised for her authenticity and refusal to conform to industry expectations. Today, Taylor Momsen is widely respected in the rock world, known for her talent, unapologetic style, and artistic integrity. Her journey from child actress to rock icon showcases a rare and successful transformation, one that highlights the power of self-discovery and creative evolution. News 10. Mara Wilson. From child star to thoughtful storyteller. Mara Wilson became one of the most beloved child stars of the 1990s, captivating audiences with her intelligent charm and emotional depth. She made her film debut in Mrs. Doubtfire, 1993, holding her own alongside Robin Williams, and solidified her place in cinematic history with her starring role in Matilda, 1996. Her portrayal of the telekinetic, book-loving girl became iconic, endearing her to fans around the world. Despite her early success, Wilson chose to step away from Hollywood as she entered adolescence. Disillusioned with the entertainment industry and grieving the loss of her mother during the filming of Matilda, Wilson found acting no longer brought her joy. She later spoke openly about the pressures of child stardom and how fame affected her mental health and self-image. Instead of pursuing further roles, Wilson turned to writing and advocacy. She graduated from New York University and began a career as an author and voice for mental health awareness. Her 2016 memoir, Where Am I Now? True Stories of Girlhood and Accidental Fame, received critical acclaim for its honest, introspective look at growing up in the public eye. Wilson has also become a strong advocate for mental health, LGBTQ+ rights, and creative authenticity. Though she occasionally lends her voice to projects like voicing characters in animated series, her primary focus remains on writing and activism. Mara Wilson's story is one of personal growth, resilience, and transformation, from child star to an articulate, empathetic voice in contemporary culture. News 11. Jake Lloyd, the rise and fall of a young Skywalker. Jake Lloyd was thrust into the global spotlight at just 10 years old when he was cast as young Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars Episode I, The Phantom Menace, 1999. With the enormous anticipation surrounding the film, Lloyd became one of the most recognized child actors in the world overnight. He had previously appeared in Jingle All the Way, 1996, starring alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger. But Star Wars made him a household name. Unfortunately, the role that brought him fame also brought intense scrutiny and backlash. Critics and fans harshly criticized The Phantom Menace, and much of that criticism was unfairly directed at Lloyd's performance. The bullying and media pressure he experienced as a result left deep scars. By the time he reached his teens, he had retired from acting, later calling his Star Wars experience hellish. Lloyd attempted to live a quiet life, studying film and psychology in college. However, his struggles with mental health, particularly schizophrenia, became increasingly apparent. In 2015, he was arrested following a high-speed car chase and was later placed in a psychiatric facility. His mother confirmed that Jake had been dealing with schizophrenia for several years prior to the incident. Today, Lloyd remains out of the public eye, with his family focused on his care and recovery. His story is one of early fame met with relentless criticism, followed by a public battle with mental illness. It stands as a sobering reminder of the pressures placed on child stars and the human cost of celebrity. News 12. Bobby Driscoll, the tragic tale of Disney's lost boy. Bobby Driscoll was once the golden boy of Walt Disney Studios, known for his expressive performances and boyish charm. Born in 1937, he rose to prominence in the 1940s with starring roles in films like Song of the South, 1946, So Dear to My Heart, 1948, and Treasure Island, 1950. In 1953, he became the voice and model for Disney's Peter Pan, a role that cemented his place in animation history. Driscoll even earned a Special Academy Award in 1950 for his outstanding juvenile performance. But fame proved fleeting. As he entered adolescence, Driscoll's looks changed, and Disney abruptly ended his contract, reportedly without explanation. Struggling to find work and feeling rejected by the industry that once celebrated him, he spiraled into drug use. By the late 1950s, he had been arrested multiple times and spent time in prison. Attempts at a comeback were unsuccessful, and his life unraveled further. In 1968, Driscoll died alone in an abandoned New York City building at just 31 years old. His body went unidentified for over a year and was ultimately buried in a pauper's grave. It wasn't until years later that his identity was confirmed through fingerprints. Bobby Driscoll's story is a haunting example of the dark side of child stardom, of how fame, if not supported with care and compassion, can lead to isolation and tragedy. Once Disney's brightest star, Driscoll's legacy endures as both a cautionary tale and a symbol of forgotten talent. News 13. Cameron Boyce, a bright star gone too soon. Cameron Boyce was a rising talent in Hollywood, best known for his roles on the Disney Channel, where he won hearts with his charisma, charm, and undeniable talent. Born in 1999 in Los Angeles, Boyce began his acting career at a young age, making his debut in films like Mirrors, 2008, and Grown Ups, 2010, where he played Adam Sandler's son. But it was his role as Luke Ross on the Disney Channel series Jessie, 2011-2015, that made him a household name among young audiences. He later starred as Carlos, the son of Cruella de Vil, in Disney's popular Descendants franchise, where he showcased not only his acting chops, but also his impressive dancing skills. Known for his infectious energy, kindness, and professionalism, Boyce was widely admired by his co-stars and fans alike. Tragically, Cameron Boyce passed away in his sleep on July 6, 2019, at just 20 years old, due to complications from epilepsy, a condition he had been privately managing. His sudden death shocked the entertainment world and sparked widespread conversations about epilepsy awareness and research. In the wake of his passing, his family founded the Cameron Boyce Foundation, which supports causes he was passionate about, including ending gun violence, improving access to clean water, and promoting epilepsy awareness. Cameron Boyce's legacy is one of talent, compassion, and social impact. Though his life was heartbreakingly short, he left behind a powerful example of using fame for good and a legacy that continues to inspire. News 14. Corey Feldman, from Hollywood heartthrob to survivor and advocate. Corey Feldman was one of the most recognizable child stars of the 1980s, known for his roles in iconic films like The Goonies, 1985, Stand By Me, 1986, and Gremlins, 1984. With his boyish charm and memorable performances, Feldman became a staple in the teen movie scene and was beloved by fans for his natural acting talent and unique personality. Alongside his friend and fellow actor Corey Haim, he became part of the famous Two Coreys, a duo that captured the imagination of fans during Hollywood's golden era of teen films. However, Feldman's rise to fame was marred by personal struggles. Behind the scenes, he dealt with the pressures of child stardom, including exploitation, substance abuse, and difficult relationships within the industry. In his memoir, Choreography, he opened up about the abuse he faced in Hollywood and the toll it took on his mental health. His public life often seemed at odds with the image of the carefree, fun-loving child star that fans saw on screen. In recent years, Feldman has become an outspoken advocate for survivors of childhood abuse in the entertainment industry. He has used his platform to speak out against the exploitation of young actors and to support efforts to make Hollywood safer for children. Corey Feldman's story is one of survival and resilience. Though his career has been a roller coaster, he continues to fight for justice and awareness, aiming to protect future generations of child stars from the same fate he endured. News 15. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, the teen idol who chose a private life. Jonathan Taylor Thomas was one of the biggest teen stars of the 1990s, best known for his role as Randy Taylor on the hit sitcom Home Improvement, 1991-1998. With his boyish good looks, wit, and charisma, he became a fan favorite and quickly earned heartthrob status. During his time on the show, he also voiced young Simba in Disney's The Lion King, 1994, further solidifying his place in pop culture. By the mid-1990s, Thomas was at the peak of his fame, starring in a string of family films including Man of the House, Tom and Huck, and I'll Be Home for Christmas. However, unlike many of his peers, he made a deliberate decision to step away from the spotlight while still in high demand. At the age of 16, he left Home Improvement to focus on his education, citing burnout and a desire for a more normal life. Thomas attended Harvard University and later Columbia University, studying philosophy and history. Though he made brief appearances on shows like Smallville and Veronica Mars, and later directed a few episodes of Last Man Standing, he remained largely out of the public eye, maintaining a rare level of privacy for a former teen idol. Jonathan Taylor Thomas's quiet retreat from fame is both surprising and admirable. Rather than chasing the spotlight, he chose intellectual pursuits and a low-profile life, an unusual and refreshing trajectory for a child star who once dominated screens and teenage bedrooms across America. News 16. Anna Chlumsky, a triumphant return after childhood fame. Anna Chlumsky made a powerful impression on audiences with her breakout role as Vada Sultanfuss in My Girl, 1991, and its sequel, My Girl 2, 1994. Her heartfelt performance as the precocious and emotionally complex young girl opposite Macaulay Culkin earned her critical acclaim and made her one of the most beloved child actors of the 1990s. However, unlike many of her peers, Chlumsky didn't immediately pursue a non-stop acting career after her early success. Frustrated with the lack of meaningful roles and disillusioned with the entertainment industry, she took a step back in her late teens. She went on to earn a degree in international studies from the University of Chicago and briefly worked in publishing before realizing that acting was still her true passion. After refining her craft at the Atlantic Acting School in New York, Chlumsky returned to the screen with renewed focus and maturity. Her comeback was solidified with her role as Amy Bruckheimer, the hyper-efficient chief of staff to Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character on HBO's Veep, 2012-2019. The role earned her 6 Primetime Emmy nominations and reintroduced her as a powerhouse performer in adult roles. Today, Anna Chlumsky is celebrated not just for her early talent, but for her perseverance and reinvention. Her journey from child star to college graduate to acclaimed actress serves as a testament to the value of self-discovery, resilience, and forging one's own path in an often unforgiving industry. News 17. Joey Kramer, from sci-fi stardom to a life of redemption. Joey Kramer became a familiar face to sci-fi fans in the 1980s after starring as David Freeman in Disney's Flight of the Navigator, 1986. At just 13 years old, Kramer led the film with a performance that balanced innocence, wonder, and emotional depth. His role as a boy who mysteriously travels 8 years into the future while piloting an alien spacecraft made him a cult favorite, especially among young audiences. Despite the success of Flight of the Navigator, Kramer's acting career was short-lived. He appeared in a few more roles in the late 1980s before quietly stepping away from Hollywood. Like many child actors, he found it difficult to transition into adult roles and struggled to find his place after early fame. In the years that followed, Kramer's life took a dark turn. He faced legal issues, including drug-related offenses and a high-profile bank robbery in 2016 in British Columbia, for which he served time. His arrest shocked fans who remembered him as the fresh-faced star of a beloved Disney film. However, after his release, Kramer spoke openly about his struggles and expressed a desire to turn his life around. In 2020, he participated in the documentary Life After the Navigator, which chronicled his rise, fall, and path to redemption. The film provided a heartfelt look at the challenges of child stardom and the power of second chances. Joey Kramer's story is a sobering yet hopeful tale, one of early fame, hardship, and the ongoing journey toward healing and self-discovery. News 18. Shirley Temple, America's sweetheart, who redefined success. Shirley Temple remains one of the most iconic child stars in Hollywood history. Born in 1928, she rose to fame during the Great Depression, becoming a symbol of hope and joy with her infectious smile, curly hair, and irresistible charm. Films like Bright Eyes, 1934, Heidi, 1937, and The Little Princess, 1939, turned her into a national treasure. She was Hollywood's top box office draw for 4 consecutive years, and even received a special Academy Award at just 6 years old. But like many child stars, Temple's popularity faded as she grew older. Despite continuing to act into her teenage years, audiences had difficulty accepting her outside her childlike persona. By age 22, she retired from acting altogether, choosing a vastly different path: public service. Shirley Temple Black reinvented herself as a diplomat and political figure. She served as U.S. ambassador to Ghana and later to Czechoslovakia during a critical time in the Cold War. She also held positions in the U.S. State Department and the United Nations. Her intelligence, poise, and dedication to public service earned her widespread respect, independent of her childhood fame. Temple also became an advocate for women's health, openly discussing her battle with breast cancer at a time when such conversations were taboo. Shirley Temple's life stands as a rare success story in the world of child stardom, not just for her early fame, but for her ability to evolve beyond it. She left a legacy of grace, service, and enduring cultural impact. News 19. Corey Haim, a teen idol's rise and tragic fall. Corey Haim was one of the most iconic teen stars of the 1980s, captivating audiences with his boyish charm, vulnerability, and screen presence. Born in Toronto in 1971, Haim rose to fame with roles in films like Lucas, 1986, Silver Bullet, 1985, and most famously, The Lost Boys, 1987, which cemented his status as a pop culture phenomenon. His on-screen chemistry with Corey Feldman led to the pair being dubbed the Two Coreys, a teen duo that starred in several films and even their own reality show in the 2000s. Behind the scenes, however, Haim struggled with the dark side of early fame. Pressures from the industry, personal trauma, and easy access to drugs led to a long battle with addiction. Despite multiple rehab attempts and brief career resurgences, he was never able to fully reclaim his former success. Haim also spoke out about the abuse he suffered as a child in Hollywood, something he carried with him throughout his life. His experiences highlighted the often overlooked dangers young actors face in the entertainment industry. On March 10, 2010, Corey Haim died of pneumonia at the age of 38, though his long-term drug use had severely impacted his health. His death shocked fans and served as a painful reminder of the toll fame can take on vulnerable young stars. Corey Haim's legacy is bittersweet, a story of immense talent overshadowed by exploitation and addiction, but also of a young man who was beloved by millions and never stopped trying to reclaim his life. News 20. Brittany Ashton, Holmes, From Darla to Life Out of the Spotlight. Brittany Ashton Holmes became an instant fan favorite when she starred as Darla in the 1994 film The Little Rascals, a modern adaptation of the beloved 1930s shorts. With her expressive face, sweet charm, and perfect comedic timing, Holmes stole scenes alongside her pint-sized co-stars and quickly became one of the most recognizable child actors of the era. Despite the success of The Little Rascals, Holmes stepped away from acting shortly after the film's release. She appeared in only a few small projects in the mid-1990s before disappearing from Hollywood entirely. Her decision to leave acting was intentional. Holmes later revealed that she didn't enjoy the fame or the pressure of the spotlight and chose to pursue a more private and grounded life. As she grew older, Holmes focused on her education and eventually earned a degree in political science. For many years, she stayed completely out of the public eye, turning down interviews and declining to participate in most Little Rascals reunion events. However, in 2014, she briefly reconnected with fans by joining the cast for a 20th anniversary photo shoot organized by the Little Rascals production team. Now, living a quiet life away from the industry, Brittany Ashton Holmes remains a nostalgic figure for many who grew up watching her in one of the most beloved family films of the 1990s. Her story is a rare example of a child star who chose to walk away from fame early and stayed away on her own terms. My honorable gentle viewers, I have tried to highlight some important issues on behalf of our channel. Please support me. I am ending today's video by inviting you to watch the next video. Goodbye.